Hello, I want to talk about some of Buckethead's tabbing licks. I'm going to tab the main bulk of these licks out, and I'm going to leave a link in the description, and also at the end of the video I'm going to have a picture of it, and you can just pause and see the tab. So everyone kind of knows Buckethead's nubbing technique. He's done a guitar lesson from Guitar One magazine that explains it. You can look that up. But there's a couple of licks that he does that I've been trying to figure out for years, and I've kind of figured out some of them, I think. He does this kind of octave displacement tapping lick, but it's not octave displacement. I think it's inspired by octave displacement, but it's a simplified version of it because the octave displacement nubbing is way too complicated to really play live. So when he plays the song live with, on songs like Jowls, this is kind of what his hands look like, and I think this is what he's playing. I'm not sure, but it's something like this. Something like that. And what that is, it's like this 4-note pattern. So like in the left hand, that's it. It's minor second, and not quite it's like a major second. That's what his hands look like when he's playing. And then you do the nubbing thing, you mimic whatever you play up here with your right hand. And that's the pattern, and then he plays it across the fretboard. And you can only really play it 3 times on a 6-string guitar at least. And then he moves the pattern around a little bit. I think that's it. So with this lick, you really have to get your pinky working pretty well because you have to hammer out a minor second on your right hand. So you really have to get your pinky. The secret for me is like instead of just like doing the pinky like this, that doesn't really work until you get it really strong. But kind of like when you're bending notes, you reinforce your finger. So instead of like bending like this kind of already do, you reinforce the note with your other 2 fingers. So you're bending with like all 3 notes. It's much stronger. What you do when you're tapping with your pinky is you kind of like double up with this finger. So it's kind of like you're making like one super finger. Like you're kind of like combining these, and you're hammering on with that. It kind of like makes it stronger. I think that's the secret to doing nubbing with the fourth finger. So you gotta just have to work with it and just practice with your practice doing this, and make sure to like couple it together until it's strong enough to where you can actually play this. And in between the nubbing and stuff, he does this cool thing. Like in between the three finger nubs, he does this hammer on pull off thing, where he hammers on. It's like 3 notes in the left hand. It's the index in the middle. To like kind of break up the licks a little bit. And he does this thing where he randomly plays notes around here, like. It's just like random notes. Like I put my hand in the and whatever notes land on it, that's how it works out, you know. And then he also, a little bit less common is he switches to like all hammer-ons sometimes, like this. And that's just like you're hammering on, like this is an octave. And you're doing like a 7 on this hand. You just hammer on one note. So for every note you hammer on here, on the right hand, the left hand, you do it on the right hand. You just move that shape around. So one of the hardest parts about these tapping licks, or at least at first, is dealing with the pick. When you're doing like the 4-finger nubbing, you really want to. Well, what he does is he does this little trick where he switches his pick from. He normally plays it like this, like most people do, but then he kind of switches to the Eddie Van Halen style. And he does that for the augmented tap. So he's got the pick going, so he can do the little thing like this, right? So if you're not used to playing like Eddie Van Halen, you might have to practice playing like that to get comfortable with it, because that's the way he does the But when you do the 4-finger taps, you have to go one step further. So you have to do 2 motions. You go to the Eddie Van Halen finger style, and then what he does is he uses this. Let me show you. Like he uses his index finger and he slides that pick into his thumb. So it's kind of like it's like in the crease of your thumb, and it takes a while to be able to get it like that. Right, and it takes a while to be able to hold it like that. But it's basically 2 motions. From here to the Eddie Van Halen thing. That's the easiest. You got to go back and forth, right? And then the second part is you use the index finger, push it like this, cradle it, and there you go. Then you got all 4 of your fingers free. And then of course he does the sweep tap thing. That's a little bit more common. It's just an augmented sweep. And after he does the augmented sweep, he has a tendency of just playing that arpeggio over and over again, descending. All that is that little major third, and then major third in the pinky. So over and over again, he just plays that all around. In songs like Random Killing, which is what I based that solo off of, all he does is he just like does this tapping augmented arpeggios on one string, and that's the 9th fret, 13th fret, and the 17th fret. Just goes up the string symmetrically, and then he starts to do a slide on the top. And you just kind of slide as far as you can. You just move it up. You just kind of like move it up like that. And that's about it. In between the licks, he commonly does like it's like his little like punctuation mark when he's done with a lick. Sometimes he does it in reverse, just to break up like the phrasing of the tapping licks and stuff. And that's about it. The tab's gonna be at the end. I can't really explain it better than that.